They're suffering every bit as much as us, and they can't go to the local supermarket and buy anything off the shelf. So.
I mean, some obviously migrate south for the winter, don't they? Some breeds have gone, and they're presumably very grateful they have done. Which ones have stayed, and which ones are suffering?
We get quite a number of species that actually migrate here in the winter as well. So
they think it's going to be milder here.
Milder. It's interesting that some things like fieldfares and redwings have moved much faster through the northwest and are in Surrey and Hampshire, where Mum lives already, so where they'd normally expect them in a week or two's time.
So they've sussed it. They've been here. They've thought, hey, up, this is cold, and they've cleared off further
Eaten
south.
all the berries, need that much more energy, so they've eaten them much quicker and headed further south.
What is available food-wise to them? I mean, if the ground's frozen solid, they can't peck for anything down there.
This is one of the problems. Species they eat, particularly insects and worms and so on, are really suffering badly at the moment, whereas some of the species that eat seeds from some of the trees, probably less so. But I mean, the energy demand that they're having at the moment, just to keep warm.
Yes, if you've got a tiny little body, the percentage heat loss from a tiny little body is greater than from a big body, isn't it?
Yeah.
From another animal. I mean, are we threatened? I mean, are we going to lose them? Are they dying?
Every year that we get one of these very cold winters, some of the insect-eating birds, particularly the small ones, such as wrens and other species that can't really be fed on bird tables and get that sort of supplementary feeding, we do notice that in the breeding season the numbers have declined.
Do they make it up?
They do.
Does the breeding cycle the following season make up the numbers?
Over the next few years, they'll make up the numbers again. Quite often these species have 8 or so young, so they soon can recover.
You say the wren couldn't be supplemented by the bird table. I mean, we're doing our best with our bird table. I mean, presumably you'd encourage people to put stuff out for the birds. If you can't help wrens, they can help others.
Yes, I mean, the things like blackbirds and the thrushes, robins, some of our traditional favourite sort of winter birds, really benefit from that supplementary feeding.
For example, what would you say put out? Kitchen scraps?
It's a good idea to buy some of the feeds that are available. Some of the kitchen scraps actually can contain salt. Bacon rinds and things have salt, and that's not good for the birds.
Bits of fruit?
Bits of fruit is ideal. It's one of the things that people often don't think to put out. But if instead of putting mouldy apples or those that have failed into the dustbin, put them out. Things like blackbirds and the thrushes, they'll be on them. I'm doing it at the moment, and I had mistle thrushes in the garden in Wigan today, feeding on apples. It's great. Are
you likely to attract species into the garden you wouldn't otherwise do? Desperately looking for food, they'll go places they otherwise wouldn't go, aren't they?
Yes, I mean, certainly you would expect to find things now that are more unusual. I mean, you might see a blackcap or something feeding on the fruit that we mentioned. It's great time for seeing birds, not so good for if you happen to be one and needing that.
OK, well, let's hope they manage to get through these difficult times with the support of everybody watching. Mark, nice to have met you. Thank you for coming in.